G'day everybody, it's Gavin Linsell here for Gem Adventurer on Lootess, and recently I penned an article to help you understand gemstone cuts just that little bit better. In fact, we cover all the different facets of gemstones. Now you can read that article by clicking on the link in the description. Unfortunately, most raw gemstone crystals from the earth are not ready to be set into jewelry. They have to undergo a process of transformation. And that process is called lapidary, or more simply, gemstone cutting. Now that's the art of taking a rough gemstone crystal and making them into a beautiful gemstone. Now you might have noticed that I used the word rough, and that's quite telling because in the gem industry, that's what we call these raw crystals. And let me tell you, sometimes they can look pretty rough. Now as a lapidary, you have two broad choices when it comes to cutting gemstones. The first is faceted gemstones, and the second is non-faceted gemstones. Now, faceted gemstones are gemstones with geometrically shaped, flat, polished faces. Non-faceted gemstones don't have these geometrically shaped, flat, polished faces, and a really good example are cabochons. Now, we'll have a special video all about cabochons later in the series. Now, the art of lapidary has been with us for thousands and thousands of years. And really during this time, we've seen an amazing transformation and evolution of the techniques we use. And these are largely down to technical improvements. When you're cutting gemstones, the lapidary has several processes to complete. First, we start with that raw gemstone crystal. And to start working with it, the best way is to slice and dice, to cut the crystal up into pieces that we can work with to finish the gemstone. Now, sometimes the crystal is so perfect, this process isn't necessary, but let me tell you, that doesn't happen very often. Most of the time, we have to start slicing. And that's really where everything begins. And that's very, very important because if you slice that crystal incorrectly, it's really going to affect everything down the line. Once we've done the slicing and got a basic crystal that we can turn into a gemstone, we then have to do a process called preforming. And preforming is just using a hand-driven steel wheel to basically get the contours and the shape of the gem that we want to create. Once that's processed, then we go to the lapidary lap. Now a lap is a flat polishing wheel that can be made out of a variety of materials such as tin, steel or copper, and we use a diamond paste to create that fine polish we see both on faceted gemstones and also cabochons. Now, I really hope you've enjoyed this first video on the series. Stay tuned for more.